About to be winter here in Michigan, and my garage could use a weatherization tune-up, and so we're going to be looking at three main areas in my garage. Number one, I got this crack in the window we're gonna fix up with some window seal. I have this area under my garage door where it has this hole where it needs to be filled with a garage door strip. And then what we're gonna be focused on today is putting up this garage door insulation kit from Beast Full Stop. I'm gonna show you that. I've never done this before, so we're gonna give it a try. All right, our kit comes with 8 of these garage insulation panels. You'll notice the radiant barrier silver side, that's gonna go in towards the door. It also comes with this nice utility knife that's actually something I'll keep using afterwards. It's a pretty nice knife. And then it comes with this little squeegee that just helps apply the tape in. Hopefully this makes it even easier. It comes with this double-sided tape. Now, when I've done research on other garage doors, the tape is usually the biggest problem. We're going to see how strong this tape is. We're actually gonna do a test to see if we think it's gonna hold up long term. Now, researching the key to the success here really is this silver side. This is a radiant barrier. So even though my garage doors already have a factory insulation layer, we're going to see whether this radiant barrier makes the difference to hold in the heat. We'll do our heat test. We'll see if this makes a difference for especially the heat. Okay, I've been reading lots of reviews from several different kits that are out there on the internet. And by far the biggest complaint that I've seen is that the tape that comes with these kits is not sticky enough. So we're going to see whether this tape in the Beast Full Stop Insulate Kit is stronger than most of the other ones out there. I'm gonna test it on a strip of our insulation panel here from a piece that I cut off already. We'll get our tape on there one side, and I'm gonna go ahead. We can see how this works when we peel it off. We remove the top layer, and it's just a clear look. We can kind of slowly do it. All right. Now, I doubt this is gonna work, but we're going to see whether it could hold a 10-pound weight, whether that tape is strong enough there. I don't know if there's gonna be enough surface area, so let's give it a shot. I'm gonna stick this on here good. And then I'm going to attempt to hold this weight from here. There we go, that's surprising, but it's holding. All right, so first I am going to try to line this up evenly at the top of the door here. Stuff is pretty sticky. Okay, we're gonna put up our first panel. I got the tape, the double-sided tape up. It says that it's easiest to just go ahead and put the panel up first and then cut around it. But if you like to cut first because it's easier to install that way, that is an option as well. I'm gonna go ahead and try to line up the corners here, see if we can get this to cut straight after. Okay, the first panel is up, and it was actually easier than I was expecting. The tape is super sticky, so you definitely want to make sure you're careful as you're applying that. Once you get it on, it's difficult to get up, but that means our panels are going to hold for years, ideally. The knife is also extremely sharp. This is a nice knife. I also discovered that if you flip this open, it has extra blades, so I might switch this out halfway through one of the blades, because getting the cut right is probably the trickiest part. As you're going across the corners, the edges, cutting the bottom, I had to cut that bottom couple of inches out. Just getting that straight for me was the hardest part, making sure the edges look nice. But overall, I would say the first panel went up successfully overall. All right, this tape is actually pretty clear, which is nice. Even if you accidentally get a little bit somewhere, it's gonna blend right into the door. Again, it is sticky. The panels are holding up nicely so far. All right, we're gonna do tests. Now this isn't extremely scientific, but it's the best that we can do in short notice. I am going to use one of these infrared guns to test the heat. We're gonna have a heater on the outside heating up. We're gonna see the difference between a control area and the insulated panels, see how it turns out. All right, now I don't have a way to test the cold with an experiment that I know very well, but I do have a heater going outside the garage here, right on this panel here. And so this will be our control panel. We'll see what the temperature gauge reads here, and then we'll move the heater over. As soon as it reaches the same temp on the exterior, we'll go ahead and we'll test that side. So right now, if we go ahead and point this towards this panel, we can see we're up to 87.2.4. So that'll be our control, 87. Let's go out and see what the temp is on the exterior. Okay, so we'll see what our temperature is out here. I'm gonna point right to where we were at, and if you can look at the temperature reader here, so we are at 210.3 on the exterior. So that is our heater control. I'm gonna go ahead and move it to our insulated panel. Okay, now I'm on my insulated panel here. We got our heated pointed towards it. Gonna go ahead and check. We are slightly, okay, we're about almost there. There we go, 210. All right, we're where we need to be. We're gonna go inside and test. Okay, we're on our insulated side. Gonna go ahead and test here exactly where we were at before. And so, pointing exactly where that heater is on the outside. And the most that I'm seeing is us get up to about 68 degrees there. So a good 10 to 15 degrees difference between the heat tests. And so again, during the summer, this panel gives me that extra insulation so that this doesn't turn into a hot box. And in the winter, we're gonna have to come back and make a follow-up video to see if it keeps the cold out the same way that's keeping the heat out. All right, we're done with our insulation kit install. Overall, this was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Probably took an hour and a half, maybe two max. And if I was doing a second door, it would definitely go faster. Just learning how to cut around the brackets and getting the tape in all the right places is really the hardest part. But overall, simple project and can do it by yourself, which you can't say about too many projects. So I'm looking forward to a warmer winter in Michigan this winter and a cooler summer come next year. But overall, we're gonna do a couple more weatherization activities in the garage between the garage seal strip and the door. But this kit is on pretty good and so far holding well.